The Durian Heat, bringing big ideas and critical opinions in Southeast Asia.
Hey, this is Arlene and you are back with me on our Durian Heat. So, still with us, previously discussing on bridging ASEAN youth entrepreneurs towards AEC. In the third part of this discussion, we focus more on the importance of entrepreneurship and the issues and challenges faced by young Southeast Asian entrepreneurs. So with me is still Amelia and Hajar, organizer of ASEAN Young Entrepreneur Summit.
Yes.
Being an entrepreneur, of course, there's a lot of issues and challenges faced on a daily basis. But being a young entrepreneur, what are the specific issues that usually they face?
The issues of being a young entrepreneur is you have to juggle between class and having a business. You have meetings. You have to really know how to manage your time, because that's a lot of work being an entrepreneur, and you have to deal with customers. You're tired, but you have your work to do. You have to smile every time the customer come in. You have to forget how tired it was. It was very challenging, but it was fun because you get to gain knowledge. And because I was once this not really a confident person, but then I joined the club, try and be an entrepreneur. So I gained my confidence by being one of the committee.
So I think soft skills is definitely one of the sort of advantage that you gain being an entrepreneur.
Yes.
But being a Southeast Asian entrepreneur, how do you actually engage with people outside of Malaysia?
We have social medias. Like for myself, I can say I have friends all around the world. I have 2 best friends in Indonesia. I have one in Thailand and one in Philippines. But I do communicate a lot with the one in Indonesia because we share the same
common interests.
Yes. So for me, how do I communicate with them? It's either I contact them through, usually we will use Skype and WhatsApp.
It seems like the younger generation of Malaysians are definitely more connected to their neighbours in comparison to the previous generation. Probably you have more friends from Southeast Asia. When it comes to being an entrepreneur, I'm sure you have engaged quite a number of successful entrepreneurs. What sort of tips that usually they would impart on how to be a successful entrepreneur?
Usually they will more about communication. How do you want to communicate with all these people? How do you want to gain customers? How do you want to advertise? How do you want to publicize your products?
So it's all about trying to better communicate your point across. What about Hajar? Do you have any points to share?
My point is on bravery. If you don't have the confidence, if you don't have the brave to start, you don't know how. You won't do anything about it. And yes, of course, the entrepreneurs will say the most important thing is about communication, because how do you want to sell your product if you don't know what the content and how to publicize it? So communication is very important.
What about the research element of your product? Is that a very important element as well?
Yes, because to sell the products, you actually need to know how the culture in one country, like, okay, in Indonesia, for example, Indonesia is more or less basically the same as Malaysia because they have Malay Jawa, and we also in Malaysia have Malay Jawa. As for example, textile, we have batik Indonesia and batik Malaysia. So if we are from Malaysia, we want to sell batik Malaysia. We do research. Is there anyone who going to wear this kind of batik? If yes, then we can sell the products in Indonesia. If no, if you want to you can take the risk, but it's risk. So it's all depends on us actually, whether you can sell, even though you wanted to say you want to try to invent something new, and nobody have done it before. Okay, if you dare to take the risk, then proceed.
So taking risks is also one of the elements.
Yes.
Can you share with me companies, Southeast Asian companies that you really look up to as entrepreneurs?
I really look up to Tony Fernandez from AirAsia, because AirAsia is a company where it sells airlines, which is an airlines which sell very economic price of tickets. So how do they actually between the other airlines in Malaysia, they could support themselves until they can actually win the prize for the best cheapest ticket, I think. Because
they are very competitive, in terms of their prices.
Yeah, because they're willing to take the challenge to be in the airlines market, even though they haven't. They have other airlines, bigger airlines such as Mars or Malindo. Sorry.
From small, okay, we from AirAsia. Okay, from this small company, how can it be like that big? And Tony Fernandez is well known all around the world.
So you also look up to Tony
Yes,
Fernandez.
yes.
Is there any other like young entrepreneurs that you look up to? Because he's quite old, to be frank.
It's Timothy Tiaf. Kausha Duga, founder of T-Box, which is the co-founder of T-Box. T-Box is food and beverages. If you can see, people
Based in where?
Based in Malaysia.
Okay.
People really loves food. So, but there are too many people who actually join ventures in food business. So how they can actually market their product to ASEAN and even Asia. So that's really amusing, because in this economy state, it's really not that easy to actually be in that kind of business. So I really look out to.
Anyway, that's all for our discussion today. Thanks for Hajar and also Amelia, organizer of the ASEAN Young Entrepreneur Summit.
You're now listening to Durian ASEAN, the voice of discovery and sharing.